Hello and welcome to the Talks podcast,
a home of all things pet.
Our guests in Talks will share their knowledge, experience and expertise with one goal in mind.
For us to better understand our friends, whether they have fins, feathers, paws or claws, because we love them all.
And for those wanting to become pet parents, every episode will also feature some special fur babies looking for their forever home.
So subscribe to Talks everywhere you find podcasts and let's talk pets. Hello and a warm welcome to our first episode of our new podcast series, Talks, the home of all things pet. With this podcast, we want to join and support you on your pet parenting journey with a little help from our amazing guests. And what better way to start this podcast series than with someone who has dedicated her life to helping animals when they are most vulnerable. I'm excited today to chat to Dr Amie Cameron, a veterinary surgeon previously from the Cat Vet. She has previously worked in New Zealand, in the UK, and then moved to Dubai in 2017. Amie loves all things cats and dogs, but has a special spot for her two furry friends, one Labrador and one Yorkie. Today I'm talking to Amie and to address some of the most important dental care issues and some other common issues she has seen within her practice. Let's talk with Dr Amie Cameron. Hi Dr Amie, thank you for joining us on the show today. I see you've got two guests with us. What are their names?
This is Oscar. He is about 6 years old. He's a little Yorkie. And this is Mia. She's about 3 years old. Golden Retriever. She was abandoned.
Shame.
Yeah, in Dubai.
Are both of them adopted from here? Or you bring
Yes,
one
yes, no, they're both from here.
How long have you been in the UAE?
We moved here 2017.
Okay. And you've been a veterinary practice since then?
Yeah, so I was working at the Cat Vet. I'm not working there at the moment because I've got 3 young children, so I've taken some time out to look after them.
Furry and normal kids.
Yeah, furry kids and normal kids.
Yeah. Why did you decide to become a vet?
Well, first of all, of course, I love animals. I am that person that, I can't go past a cat or a dog on the street without stopping and patting them. My husband gets really annoyed. I'm like, oh, I'm that annoying person. So I love animals, and also at school I love science and biology and like surgery kind of things. So I thought, well, doctor, vet, I was like, I love animals. So it was kind of an easy decision, really.
Okay. But you've had quite a journey, UK, New Zealand, Dubai.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit about your journey?
So I graduated in New Zealand in 2003 and I actually worked in a predominantly dairy cow practice to start with for a few years. Yeah, so I did carvings and things like that. It was really enjoyable, hard work, but really fun. So it was a general practice. I did everything. And then I went to the UK for a couple of years. I worked in London, small animal, went back to New Zealand, then back to the UK. Just been doing small animal. And then when I moved to Dubai in 2017, I started working at the Cat Vet, so narrowed it down to just one species, which has been really nice. It's really, really good to be able to just kind of focus a bit more on a single species. Okay,
and I guess in the UAE, cats are quite a predominant pet compared to dogs?
Yeah, lots and lots of cats, and also there's a lot of stray cats here too. So there's that kind of side of practicing as well. So which is a bit different to other countries.
Okay. In this episode today, we want to chat about more specifically around dental health for cats and dogs. So brushing teeth for cats and dogs, is it needed? Or what is your recommendation when you have people come visit you?
So, I always tell people that cats and dogs' teeth are just fundamentally like ours. If we didn't brush our teeth every day, after a few years, we'd have pretty revolting state in our mouths. So we'd have, a lot of tartar, plaque build-up. We'd have smelly breath. We'd have infected teeth, loose teeth, painful teeth. And that is exactly what happens with cats and dogs. So the gold standard thing to do is toothbrushing, and if you can do it every day, that is ideal. I have to say I don't know many people that do it every day. My dad does for our dogs at home, not the cat, but for the dogs. So if you can brush teeth every day, that is the absolute best thing you can do for your pet's oral health.
Is it recommended that it's twice a day, or is it just...
if you can do it twice a day, if you can remember, if you can be bothered, that is better. Like I said, it's just like people, we brush our teeth twice a day. But obviously there are some pets that, it's just not going to happen. Some cats are going to have you for dinner if you try and brush their teeth.
Sure.
So sometimes it is just not a possibility. And also, more commonly, people just can't be bothered, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then is it something that you should leave to the professionals, or is it you can train your pet over a time period?
So you can definitely do it yourself. So I always recommend you start off with just using your finger, just rubbing especially the outsides of the back teeth. Using your finger, get your pet used to you getting in their mouth like that. Then you can start putting some toothpaste on your finger. Then you can graduate to like a finger brush, which is like a rubber thimble that you put on your finger with rubber bristles. And then you can graduate to an actual toothbrush as well. So you just kind of do it step by step and get them used to it.
So you mentioned toothbrushes and toothpaste. Are there special products that you can recommend, or is it you just use your normal household?
So, believe it or not, there is actually meat-flavoured toothpaste for dogs and cats. Sounds delightful, but obviously cats and dogs aren't going to like minty flavours, so that's not going to help. So yeah, you can buy special cat and dog toothpaste. You can use just children's toothbrushes, or like I said before, you can use the finger brush, but you can also buy special cat and dog toothbrushes.
Is human-grade toothpaste dangerous for dogs? Do you recommend staying away from it because of the menthol or anything like that?
Yeah, purely the taste, if before anything else. Yeah, they're not going to like it. They really won't, and you're going to have a lot of trouble.
And I guess that will make it harder to keep the routine going with the dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't be having a bar of it, I don't think.
Yeah. So you say that obviously it's not something not every pet owner will be willing to do every day. What other techniques? There's possibly food we chatted about before the show that can help also keep teeth clean. I see there's treats that you can get. What else? What can you recommend? What is your for the lazy pet parents?
Yeah, the gold standard thing is toothbrushing, but like I said, it doesn't actually happen that often. The next best thing that I can recommend is diet. Just a dry food is most important. Dry is much better than wet, and if you get a premium brand from like a pet store or a vet shop, if it has a dental claim, that's going to be really helpful too.
So the general dry food is just because of the eating and the way it's structured?
Yeah, the abrasive action, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you get these other teeth cleaning treats. Are they actually effective?
In my opinion, they don't hurt, absolutely, they can only help, but the most effective thing, kind of bang for your buck, is going to be something like TD or a dental diet that they're eating all the time, because you don't want to be giving your dog too many treats, but you want as much brushing action as possible on the teeth.
And if that's not available, then a general diet does help, and then with toothbrush brushing routine of some sorts.
Yeah.
Okay. When we talk about dry diets and wet diets, is a wet diet specifically bad for teeth and gums?
So wet diets, if your cat or dog has no other medical reason that they need to be on a wet diet, I recommend just 100% dry food. It's just so much better for their teeth and gums. You compare like two sibling animals, after a number of years, one eats wet, one eats dry, the dry food animal is definitely going to have much better teeth. So unless they've got like kidney problems or bladder problems where they have to have wet food, dry definitely
will help with teeth and gums. Okay. You've been working for a number of years as a vet. What are the general other major concerns or things that you've seen is quite common amongst cats and dogs other than teeth and gums?
Well, in Dubai, because it's a bit different around the world. In Dubai, there's two really specific things to Dubai that we see. There's a thing we call Middle East mouth disease, which is kind of ties in with dental problems. It's where cats, kind of the local cats, get an infection, and it actually eats away at the bone around the teeth. It's really, really nasty and can result in the whole lip being eaten away. It's a really nasty disease which we don't understand very well. So that's something we see.
Is it something unique just to this area?
It seems to be, yeah.
Okay,
so we don't fully understand it. So there's work underway trying to understand whether it's viral, genetic, what's going on, but it tends to be the local kind of cats.
The stray cats and
the Arabian mouse. If it's caught early, it's quite easily treatable, but often with the strays that doesn't get caught early. So we do see these cats with some nasty, nasty lesions. In saying that is actually quite different to typical normal dental disease. It's something we see in young cats generally. Yeah.
Okay. On that one, how would you notice that if you see, what should a person do? Because as you say, it's quite unique.
Yeah, so if you do see a cat with like a lesion on the side of the mouth, or they're having trouble eating, they're dribbling, stinky breath, like I said, it's usually in the stray cat population, but if you do see that, take them to the vet, and usually antibiotics and some mouthwashes and things like that will do the
Is it
trick.
quite contagious with other cats?
No, it's not. It doesn't really seem to be a contagious thing.
Okay.
That's what we don't fully understand. We think there's a genetic viral component, but yeah.
So it's easy to just take it to a vet and get it solved. Dogs can interact with cats. It's not going to be
Yeah, it tends to just be a cat thing.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
but yeah. So what else was I going to say? On the other odd thing that we see here, similar situation. We don't really know what causes it. Is a lot of cats, they have eye problems where their eyelids don't form properly, and that's something specific to this region that we see.
Anything else that they can do other than take it to a vet, or is that something that they need to address the medical?
No, definitely need to take them to the vet for that. Yeah.
Okay. The UAE last year was plagued with parvo. Has that subsided a little bit now?
So yeah, parvo in dogs and parvo in cats is a different disease. Well, it's the same kind of disease, but caused by an actual different virus. And that is something we see quite often in cats here because of the high number of stray cats that aren't vaccinated.
Okay.
So it's something that we vaccinate against, and that is really the biggest kind of tool in our toolbox against parvo. But yeah, it is unfortunately quite common here, and it's a nasty, nasty disease. So just get your cat vaccinated.
Vaccination seems to be a hot topic where there seems to be a lot of responsible parents that haven't vaccinated. What is the main reason to vaccinate your pets? Why do we recommend it?
I mean, yeah, at the moment with COVID and everything, vaccination is a bit of a hot topic. Yeah, it's the socially responsible and personally responsible thing to do for the health of your cat and dog. I would never forgive myself if my cat or dog came down with an illness that I could have prevented. Yes, I know that there are some very small risks, with vaccinations. They're very, very small, and if you weigh them up against the risk of your animal actually developing that illness, especially something like cat flu or parvo, which we see a lot of, then I think the only responsible thing to do is to vaccinate.
And it's quite, is it painful for the pets? Is there any reason why they shouldn't, other than the very small risk?
Sometimes when you vaccinate a cat, they don't even notice. If you have a really sharp needle and you distract them with some food, you can inject them and they don't even notice. We do get the opposite as well, but those are the kinds of cats that you can hardly touch.
Okay.
They get so stressed out at the clinic. But no, I mean, I really think a small, needle prick is worth it for saving.
Distract with food.
Yeah, possibly saving.
Is that why the nurse did it for my COVID?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay, great. Any other major issues that you noticed in your years that are easily addressed with preventative measures like diet or going to the vet on a regular basis?
Actually, yeah, one thing I was going to mention is an interesting thing about working in Dubai compared to other countries is the lack of fleas. I'm not saying there's no fleas, because there's definitely fleas here, but there's not a huge amount of fleas. We don't see cats coming in, with fleas all over them and with allergic skin conditions. So that's actually been lovely over here, not having to deal with all those complications of flea infestations. But in saying that, there definitely still are fleas here, so people shouldn't be complacent. The proof of that is a disease we see called feline infectious anemia. It's transmitted or vectored by fleas. So there have to be fleas biting cats for cats to get infected. So it's definitely happening. There are definitely fleas. So to prevent your cat from getting this illness, which can be fatal, so it's a nasty anemia, the best thing you can do is use flea protection. So even though you're not seeing fleas like you do in other countries, because it's so hot here, you do still need to use flea protection.
Well, we see that quite a lot with our own clients, that they don't feel that tick and flea protection is key, but it is very vital.
Yeah.
And ticks, it's also quite still a thing in the UAE as well?
Yep.
Okay.
But I think, the flea thing for me was the biggest eye-opener, because I've never, been in any place around the world where fleas haven't been a problem in cats and dogs, like a big problem, like you get bitten if they get the fleas and you see them on them. Yeah.
And it's quite easily treatable. You've got frontline Bravecto.
So many different products. Yeah, absolutely. Really easy to treat. A little bit of money, but it's well spent.
Okay, but skin conditions is still quite a topic here in the UAE, although there's not a lot of flea. Is there something else that's driving the high potential of skin issues?
I think the dust and things like that. There's lots of different possible causes of like allergies and skin issues. Can be diet, can be environmental. But yeah, like I said, it's the incidence of skin issues here, especially in cats, is much lower than in other countries, and that's predominantly because we haven't got the complicating factor of fleas.
Okay, so that is one benefit of the hot summers.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks very much. To wrap up, we generally have just some fun questions. So out of your 2 pets, which is your favorite?
Well, I've actually got 3. We've got 2 dogs and we've got a cat at home. He's bigger than this dog.
Wow. Mancoon, or is it?
No, he's just an Arabian Maor. He looks
lovely.
like, you know, the panther that was on the loose a while ago? I think it was probably my cat.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a big black cat. No, I don't have any favourites. I really don't. And,
That's just because they're here.
Yeah, I always get asked, am I a cat or a dog person? And I'm absolutely 50-50. So.
Approximately how many hours do cats sleep per day?
Heaps. Over half the day, like 15 hours.
15 hours a day?
A long
Wow.
time.
Okay. Dalmatian puppies, are they born with spotted, true or false, with spots?
No, they're born white, so they develop their spots.
Oh, what is the reason for that? Do we know? No, just their breed.
It's just when the
I guess
spots
I was
develop.
born blonde, but then then I'd grown
Things
up with no
change.
hair.
I suppose we're all, well, a lot of kids born with blue eyes, aren't you? And then
Yeah.
it changes.
Oh, fair enough. Is cow's milk bad for cats?
Yes, so some cats will tolerate it, that is absolutely true, but if you want to be safe, it's much, much better to give an actual cat milk, you know, like a cat, a milk designed for cats, because cats are actually lactose intolerant, so you'll probably end up with diarrhea and vomiting if you give them normal milk.
And those are products that are off the shelf that you can get?
Yeah, so in some supermarkets and pet stores and stuff, with specific cat milk.
Okay, that's great. Cats talk by each other by meowing. Is that true or false?
No, cats actually talk to us by meowing. So since cats have been domesticated, that's when they started really meowing to people to communicate. They actually communicate with each other by like hissing and growling and things like that. You actually will notice that you don't really see cats meow at each other.
Okay.
Yeah, and body language, sorry to interrupt.
And body language
Yeah,
as well.
so into cat language, a lot of it's about body language.
There was a recent study about purring where they now expect that the purring causes the vibrations to help the cats heal faster.
Yeah, so that's one odd thing we see is, say a cat is really unwell and really stressed at the vet clinic and they'll be sitting on the table purring and the owner will be like, oh, look, they're purring. I'm like, it's like a self-soothing mechanism sometimes.
Yeah, the study was saying that the vibrations helps them heal faster because that's one of the unique things about...
I haven't actually heard that, but that would make sense.
It's an interesting one. I don't know how scientifically proven it is yet, but it was an interesting theory. Which 2 colors do dogs see?
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. Do we know the reasons for this?
Just the makeup of the back of their eye, the cones, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So no robots for them. Perfect. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is the end of our episode, so thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, share, tell your friends. If you've got any questions, just email us and we can try and answer them. Thank you for them. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.